Alright, alright. Hello, everybody. We're just gonna start
Hi,
now
Balmy.
because it's 6, and I said we're gonna start at 6. So we start at 6. Cool. We got a bunch of new people, which I'm happy about. Now, the problem with all of these new people is gonna be where do you want to apply yourself? I'm gonna say this right away. This project kind of works on a you find something you want to do and then you just kind of do it basis. Right? So if you have a skill that is going to be useful, then you just go find a part where you are going to be useful and you just apply yourself. So if okay, Mr. Catling, thank you for the input. Please mute yourself if you really insist on loudly playing music through your speakers.
Sorry.
Good. All right. Now, so Catling?
Yeah?
Okay, I'm still getting an echo from you. Can you please just enable push to talk?
Okay.
Thank you.
Let
Alright,
me just mute myself for the time being.
there we go. So, what is needed right now, right? And I just want to talk about that first because we are actually doing really well overall in terms of pushing for version 1. And that's kind of the big thing I want to do right now. All right, I want to push to actually get a playable version of the game online. Something that we won't make public right away, but something we can test, something we can have testing sessions on. You know, something that we can show people to keep everybody excited about what we're doing. And something that we can, you know, more actively build on, because currently we're just doing a lot of theory, and that isn't that really that exciting. For that, I'm going to need pure coding manpower. Right? I've talked about this, but we just need people to implement shit. Now, I already saw a lot of you have coding experience and such, and I very much appreciate that. So, what I would like to see from you is if you think you can implement things into the game, you go on the GitHub and you pick one of the issues and you just implement it, right? If you're working on something, please make sure you comment on the GitHub that you are working on it, so we aren't like accidentally overlapping work. That would be a little bit pointless. There are bosses that need to be implemented, right? There are soon going to be items, and I actually want to talk about the items in a second. We'll get to that. But yeah, now another thing I also really quickly want to mention, this mostly goes out to the people that have been here for, you know, the longer period of time. Like mostly goes out to Haganeko and Warp Dragon, and who was also working on the
Yo.
I've also been here for a while. But
yeah, no, that's not what I mean. But yeah,
The document that we've
Colm.
been working on this week was Calm Storm, Haganeko, myself, and a couple other people.
Yeah. Anyway, it mostly goes out to those people. I just want to apologize for not being here. I have just been busy, you know. Life happens, and sometimes that just takes priority. So I just haven't been able to do that. And I know it's not to everybody that has been here for a while. I know who's been here. I know Tom has been here, and Kamatic, and you know, a whole bunch of people have been here for quite a while, right? But it just like goes out to the people because I said I was gonna do some of the KV files regarding items, and I did precisely none of them, which I am not very happy about, but I just couldn't do it. So yeah, but thank you for doing that anyway. I can see you've gotten very, very far already, almost to a point of completion, actually, like very far. It's very, very good. I'm very happy about this, so that's good news. And yeah, so that's fantastic. Of course, the whole item thing has been going on. Warp Dragon, I'm getting noise from you again.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. All right. Don't worry about it too much.
Well, thank you for the shout out.
Yeah. No. So that's good, right? The items are looking really nice, and yeah. So things are kind of doing well. Now, these item documents, most of them I think are pretty straightforward in terms of implementation, right? Like the easy stuff is just like Heart of Tarask 2, Heart of Tarask 3, right? And all of that is just in the KV files already. We have just applied a simple formula to find how powerful each item is going to be. And then based on that formula...
Next take.
Okay.
Okay.
I will come with you.
Can you please...
Please.
Kavai Voldemort.
Voldemort.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute you. Alright.
There.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but guys, don't show up and then have your speakers just echo everything. Yeah, I mean, come on. How do you expect that to work? So yeah, but anyway. We have applied the formula, I can see, and, you know, just kind of going through stuff. It's all looking really, really good. But the general idea is just, we don't want things to be incredibly balanced from the very beginning. Well, it would be nice, but it's unrealistic. So that's not the goal we're aiming for. That's why we need that version 1, right? We want version 1 so we can then proceed to actually balance test. And I think the best way to test balance is actually to just play, right? I don't think there's anything we can do other than playing that works as well. In terms of testing balance. Now, we have a bunch of stuff that needs implementation, right? So, if you guys are on the GitHub, you just go Angel Arena All-Stars, and then there's AAA, and then there's issues, and then there's going to currently be 18. We have a bunch of bosses. We have the Charger, the Honorable Angel, Slime, Stop Fighting Yourself Swiper, Mirror, Shield, Carapace, and Runaway. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if we also implement Hovers, that is going to be an overall of 10 bosses. I think 10 bosses for version 1 is actually a perfectly fine amount that I would be happy with. Right? I don't think we need anything more than that. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be looking for more stuff and shouldn't still be working on additional design and all of that. But I think for now, these 10 bosses we have is going to be fine in terms of actually setting up the game. Because we have 5 tiers of bosses, right? So with 10 bosses, we can have an overall of 2 bosses for each tier. Which, again, for a version 1, I am happy with that. That is nice. Bosses are definitely not just a DPS check, they are more of a strategy situation. You can also kill them much earlier than in other Angel Arenas and such. But yeah, the only boss that I would still like to implement is actually Azazel. So Azazel for the mid, and then 2 of each tier, and then we have 11 bosses for our version 1. Which I think sounds perfectly reasonable. And from there, we then implement our items. Now, in terms of items, again, the basic upgrade stuff, all of that is pretty straightforward. But we do have unique items, like unique boss items that are going to be distributed to various bosses, I guess. Right? And in the beginning, we'll just like add them to random dudes. Because we simply do not have the like fitting bosses for everything. But yeah, so again, if you go in this document, right? So where is it? Here you go. Go to this document I just posted in general. the things that need implementation are the unique boss items and the combiner items, and I guess all of the other stuff as well, although that is very straightforward, you know, like an additional level of Lincoln Sphere or Manta Style 4. I mean, that's not really anything crazy, right? That is pretty simple. But stuff like ether glasses or Azazel's crossbow and all of that, you can see that the item nodes like are in the link to the right. There's the item nodes. Those are just kind of what the item is supposed to do on a basic level, right? It doesn't really have any numbers yet. For implementation in terms of coding, you really shouldn't worry too much about numbers. You can literally put anything you want. It doesn't matter. We're going to change it anyway, right? But yes, we'll have to come up with those. Now, I actually kind of wanted to ask Warp Dragon, how are we looking in terms of these items? Like, what's left to do?
Well, based on the notes, we could probably put together the KV files by next weekend. Lotus Sphere, for some reason, wasn't in the notes. But as long as we have enough detail, we can make these KV files. And then this is everything that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
On this chart.
Yeah, like this is just kind of, I guess, how close we are to a version 1, right? I mean, we just like the items are basically done. Like by next weekend. Okay, that seems perfectly doable, right? So we'll just like try to get that done by next weekend. Anybody who wants to help can feel free to do so in the design help channel. Then we just need the implementation on those items, put them into the game, and we need the bosses to be put into the game. Chris is still working on the barrier thing, which is going to be pretty important, but I'm fairly certain he has that almost done. I saw a basically ready version like quite a while ago, honestly, so like it should be done in no time, or probably is already. And then honestly, the only thing that is left to figure out is how much gold the creep gems give, because we already have determined how much experience they give. Right? So now we just need to figure out the gold.
Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun.
Oh, that's his brother.
Dun dun dun.
Okay. Well,
What the fuck?
you're muted now. I mean, what is this shit? Okay, like, I'm gonna just say it once, but if you come here and you're gonna be an asshole, you will be banned instantly. Like, I do not fuck around with this shit. I'm just going to ban you. Alright. Warp Dragon seems...
Warp Dragon.
Oh, shit.
Microphone off of the keyboard.
Yeah, please mute yourself before you start typing. It is very loud.
He's making item.
So, again, as I mentioned, like that is how close we are to actually just being ready to put things into a game. Like, I don't even know what else to tell you guys, right? So, we just need the bosses to be put in. The map is ready. Like, the map has been ready for a while. It is complete. It is just done. It is just, we can just use this, like this, for our first version of the game. Right? Now, in terms of like bosses, just use some like hero model or something as a placeholder if you're making them. Right? It doesn't really matter what you are making, like what model you're using. Just try to find something that you feel like fits. Like for example, for the slime, use Putch or something like that. I guess we could determine that right now if we want to, but I don't know. Right now, I'm not like super keen on talking about new items that we could implement anymore, because I feel like for now we actually have enough of that stuff, and we just need to actually like put it in, I guess. Right? I have a few more ideas, I guess, but nothing too crazy that I think is a priority right now.
Could I ask one thing? May I ask one thing about the items again?
You can ask anything you want about the items. Feel free.
Okay. Under the, if you guys are still looking at it, there's a section called links. Now, my idea is, like I was saying, there's some information missing from Bounty's notes. Lotus Sphere, namely,
Yeah,
But
Lotus Sphere
also-
is just something I didn't like note down. It's literally just a combination of Lincolns and Lotus Orb. Well, I guess it would work like Anti-Mage's Aghanim's. That's all I have in
okay.
mind. Like, it's just like, it blocks a thing and reflects it, and that's it. That's just Lotus Sphere. It was so straightforward, I forgot to make a note.
That sounds pretty simple. And the reflex items, I noticed on your chart you
Yes.
had several of them. Like they varied in what they did, but we weren't really. There's no note on exactly how they're different.
The reflex items aren't done. I can
So
actually
I
give
don't
you...
have to do them yet.
No, the reflex items are really something we'll have to discuss in detail, like, together. I would like to talk about that.
So, and any and all notes that anybody can make on these, like if you guys have a discussion and you
I
come
have,
up with some finalized.
wait. I have ready what they do. I just don't have any numbers at all.
Oh, great. So
Wait.
just post it, I guess, to the link section on this document if you guys have anything.
Wait, let me go ahead and just put that in here.
And that
Yeah,
way,
Vomit's got all of it and it's done.
Yeah.
yeah,
so-
that way we don't have to go out searching for documents. We can just put them in here,
yeah.
and we'd all have access.
Okay, I'm gonna put. Let me put that in the paste bin really quick. I just put it into the Discord as well in case anybody wants it from there. But yeah, the reflex course we actually already spent quite a while thinking up the certain levels. The only thing that I wasn't like, there are a bunch of things that still need to be discussed about it. But anyway, here,
Thank you.
reflex course. Yeah, put it in. But yeah, so the thing about these, I have no clue what numbers to give them. Like, in terms of outside of these effects. Like, does it give HP? Does it give mana? How much of it, right? All of that I have no idea whatsoever, but they need to have some, else they are completely useless, right?
And they drop from bosses?
The first reflex, reflex course drop from tier 1 bosses. And then from there you just upgrade them with regular boss items. Probably. I'm a little unsure about that, actually. Again, this is just something that isn't quite done yet. I don't think it's super important right now anyway. We can, like, do that after version 1. Like, I would like to have them, but I don't think it is, like, a priority. So, yeah.
Cool.
Alright, does anybody have any questions right now? You can type in the chat. Feel free.
Jelly sent wanted to know if there was a possibility of having a translation to Turkish.
If you want to translate into Turkish, you can do so. You just post on the GitHub. Now that we're going to start implementing items, we are going to also need the translation teams that we have. And the way this is going to work is we're going to post the tickets. We're going to post tickets on GitHub with things that need translating. And then the people from the teams comment on the GitHub with the translations, right? So if you do want to translate, then you literally just go on the GitHub and we post a ticket. And you're like, here's Turkish. And then you add in Turkish and that's it. All right. So again, you just can do that yourself very easily. But yeah, now that we need the items implemented, we're actually going to have to really get to writing these item descriptions and such as well. True that. Gotta do that. Anything else? Really nothing. Okay, so just out of curiosity,
I guess not.
who here has something that they now feel like they are gonna work on?
Well, Naomi, I've been trying to work on the NGP thing, but I just don't have the coding expertise to do it.
What have you tried to work on?
We have the 3 ideas for the NGP system, the original one we were doing, and then Xanotox's version, and then I made a more complicated thing, and I wanted to make a mock-up of all of them so that the bug testing people could try to break them. But I have been trying to program that, and I don't have the coding expertise to do
Yeah,
it.
that's okay. You don't really need to code it, right? Need, greet, pass. I mean, as long as you just have the system figured out, that's fine.
Well, I wanted to see which one is fairer.
Honestly, I think you are like going a little bit too far there. It's not super complicated of a system, right? Like, just go with the thing that makes the most sense to you for now. Right, we can totally just try that in action. But yeah, okay, so we got people saying you'll work on some bosses. Again, they are on the GitHub. So currently on the GitHub, if you go into the issues, there is a bunch of bosses. These are all like approved and ready to go into the game, right? And there's only going to be 2 more that I will add in as soon as possible. And those are Hovers, which Hovers is like mostly done. I'm struggling a little bit with her, honestly. But then we have also Azazel, which Azazel is not done at all. But since we can't just spend a lot of time thinking him up, we, like, could just also do that right now, I guess, if we don't have anything else. Again, so the Townhall meetings we had before this were always a lot of, like, coming up with shit, going through new ideas and all of that. But at this point, we have enough ideas. We have things figured out. What we need to do now is we need to actually put it into action, right? We need to actually do the numbers. We actually need to put it into into Lua and implement it into the game. And
Balmy,
yeah, what's up?
about the testing team, is that just gonna be like public or is that a private?
Okay, so
we have to-
testing, the way testing is going to work is on, we're going to, okay, so what we're going to have is we're going to have public testing sessions where anybody can come and come and play. We're going to make the game publicly available for a little while. We're going to announce that, and everybody plays it, and then we make it private again. Everybody on the Discord will hopefully have access to the game at all times. How exactly we do that is still going to be a little bit tricky because we're starting to reach a lot of people on the Discord, right? So my original plan was to just have it so that if you if you are here on the team or if you're working here, then we add you to the friends list of an account that we make that has the game mode on it, and then set the game to private, but friends can play it, which is an option, and probably that's still what we're going to do. So the only issue we have there is that we're going to be limited by the friends list. Friends list can only be so large. I guess in that scenario, there's really just nothing we can do to fix it, though. So it's probably going to be just a first comes, whoever's first gets to go there. But we're going to have a lot of public test sessions where anybody can play it. But yeah, that's the current plan.
Okay, thank you.
Also, as far as bug testing, if you find any bugs, you post them to the GitHub, and the bug testing team will take them, make sure that they are actually bugs. We will make sure that they are reproducible, and then we will give them to the coding team to fix.
Yeah, that is the plan. But again, I wish I could just if you guys want to spend a little time brainstorming up ideas, because that's always the most fun part here, then I guess we could try to think up what we're going to do with Azazel, what Azazel is as a boss. But again, everybody that is in here right now, I want to encourage you. Will you share videos of test runs? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to upload stuff to YouTube. I'm going to stream it and all of that. Yeah, I got to keep the hype machine going and such, right? Got to keep people interested. But yeah, I just want to encourage you to go and do a thing, right? Because the faster we get to version 1, the sooner we can start doing all of the cool shit again. Right, coming up with new crazy item ideas and other stuff that we want to implement, crazy bosses and all of that. It's just right now that is kind of a waste of time because we have enough for version 1. We just need to put it into the game. So again, I want to encourage you to go do that. But we do still want Azazel. So let's do Azazel, I guess, right? Just to have a little bit of fun and to not have this be too short and uninteresting. Let me go ahead and tell you what Azazel is, what his role is, why he is special, why he has a name, right? And then I already know one of his abilities. I don't know the rest of his abilities, right? So,
Story
Azazel,
time.
huh?
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't really know, didn't really hear what that said, but yeah. So Azazel has a little bit has the backstory of being a fallen angel. That essentially what he did is he sold mankind weapons, right? He taught them how to make weapons and how to like fight each other and how to engage in war. That's what Azazel did. And Azazel, yeah, he is responsible for teaching people to make
teach
weapons.
mankind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You actually let's Tom have do that because Tom knows a lot more about this stuff. So Tom, feel free to explain what Azazel is.
Well, Azazel was one of the first angels to fall from heaven, and he, as one of the former of Grigoris, which were the teachers of mankind, all of them, including Barkil or Kukabil, they all teach men, like forging steel, making paintings, and basically everything that man didn't learn from God, and God persecuted all Grigoris because he thought that mankind should never knew such a thing as warfare or even painting and art. So the two-sided battle.
Yeah. So when I heard of that description, I kind of had an idea for Azazel, and that's like kind of something we stuck with because I think it's a really neat idea. So what Azazel is going to do in our game is he's going to fill the arena in the middle, right? If you look at the map that we have, you can easily find it on the GitHub. It's on there, right? But essentially the map has like an arena right in the center of it. And that arena is going to be occupied by Azazel. If you fight Azazel and you kill Azazel, Azazel doesn't die. This is kind of what makes him special. Instead of dying, he goes and turns into a shop. And then you can go into the middle of the map and buy boss items, right? You can buy boss items. Now, not all boss items, not all kinds of boss items, just a very specific list of boss items. And yeah, so that map is a little bit out of date that Warp Dragon posted there, but essentially speaking, yes. You can see that in the middle there is like this arena thing that kind of sticks out a little bit, and that's where Azazel is going to sit. So you kill Azazel, Azazel turns into a shop. So a shop is accessible by both teams, which means that Azazel becomes associated with a risk, right? These boss items will not be of the power level of Azazel, right? Azazel instead comes like as a tier 5 boss, which is the highest power level in the game, or maybe tier 4. We're a little bit undecided on which exactly, but that's fine. We can always...
I would give him tier 5.
Yeah, I would probably give him tier 5 too, right? But we gotta figure out like the exact numbers later. It's not that important if it's tier 4 or tier 5. Either way, you kill him, and then you unlock the boss items from tier 2 and tier 3. Or maybe tier 4 after, you know, like the game is at 70 minutes or some shit like that, right? But Azazel kind of works like that. He turns into a shop. Yes, it is a problem, you know, if you fight Azazel and then, you know, you unlock him as a shop and then the enemy team can use the shop, absolutely. But that's just a risk you're going to have to take. And I like that, you know, that makes Azazel a decision. Do we want to risk having to kill Azazel? Now, Azazel does drop regular items, and one of the big items he drops is Azazel's crossbow. The way Azazel's crossbow works is it allows, like, oh, it's just like the component for the crossbow, right? But it upgrades from the Daedalus, and with the Azazel's crossbow, what you gain is you gain an active effect, which allows you to target 2 AoEs that need to be non-overlapping. Then after a little delay, it kind of works like Gyrocopter Ultimate, right? There's like a projectile that comes down, hits the AoE, and deals a percentage of your attack damage in damage, or a multiplier of your attack damage in damage, right? So kind of a combination of like how Monkey King's like staff damage works and Gyrocopter's ultimate, that kind of thing. Azazel is guaranteed to drop the crossbow, yes, because it is a boss-specific item. These boss-specific items are a guaranteed drop. You will always get one, right? If a boss has something like that associated with him. So Azazel will always drop the crossbow part. Now, because he has that crossbow part, I want to give him that ability, right? Like, I want Azazel to have an ability that works exactly like I just mentioned, where he he highlights 2 AoEs, and then like a projectile comes down, you gotta dodge it, else you'll take a lot of damage, right? So that would be one of his abilities. I don't really have any of the other abilities yet, and that's kind of what we're gonna come up with, I suppose, right? Now, important things to keep in mind about Azazel. Azazel needs to be relatively small. He can't be huge simply because of the way, or simply because of his location on the map, right? His arena is tiny compared to other boss arenas, right? It's just not that big. Well, it's not tiny. It's not as big as the others, though, right? Also, Azazel is going to be like walking around. He's going to be a little bit larger than a player, but not super large. And he's going to be walking around the arena. You'll probably encounter him a few times while playing. To actually fully aggro him, you'll have to go in there and actually like fully attack him. Like, if you randomly hit him with a spell, sometimes he's just going to complain about it. We're going to have a voice actor for him, which is just going to be like, hey, stop that, or whatever, whatever Azazel would say. And yeah, but now we need abilities. Now, Tom, what other things kind of make Azazel cool? Or like, why... What other things could he have? We know he has a crossbow. What other weapons does he use?
Well, he's primarily a caster, so I would give him some kind of magic attacks. And he was once depicted as carrying a short spear, a gold one with... Yeah, gold one.
Okay, cool. So we got a spear and we got casting shit. Anybody got ideas for abilities? Now, keep in mind, I like the bosses to have faces, right? And I like bosses to not require the players to read the abilities, to know what to not get hit by and how to dodge things. Like, so those are kind of the requirements. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have an idea.
All right.
It's a summoning skill, like he's summoning either a red or a green ward that casts something like the Juggernaut Cat around it, or maybe the Scorched Earth from Doom.
Okay.
So he summons a ward with like a mini radiance kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, that's just like damn. Like, what would be the counterplay? So this is actually a nice exercise here, because this way I guess I can like nicely visualize what goes into making these bosses and like what logic I like kind of follow here, right? And what things I value. So the thing about that ward, what would be the counterplay, right? So can you kill the ward?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
That would
so-
be the counterplay I
Yeah, so
expect.
you could kill it, right? But that's not really like super interesting now, is it? Right? It would essentially result in he drops the thing down on the ground, and then like you spend the next 2 seconds killing the ward really quick, and then you go back to fighting him. Right? It's not really like a crazy interesting way of dealing with that situation. It just essentially makes it so that instead of right-clicking him for 5 or 10 or whatever many seconds, you start right-clicking the ward for a little while, and then it goes back to him, and nothing else changes, really.
I have an idea.
Yeah?
So he could use spells for damage, say AoE spells with delays, and then use a spear to throw people at the AoE, like skewer you and throw you into the AoE, or push you around and throw you into a meteor or an explosion or gas cloud or something.
I like that. That's a cool idea.
I have a different
Yeah, that sounds
variation.
nice.
Actually,
I had a different variation of the same idea. him being a caster and having those zones that he put down. If he throws a spear and you get hit by it, you get pinned in a small area you can't leave. So if you don't dodge the spear, you get stuck in an AoE.
I wouldn't make him throw the spear, because I don't think that's much to the lore, but, well, the idea is nice.
Well, so I don't find that too engaging from a gameplay perspective, because it's a lot of characters would just be able to blink out afterwards, right? And then you're making it complicated, because now, okay, so you can't blink out, there's an extra rule here or what? And I don't like implementing extra. Alright, that's good.
What's happening?
A guy fucked his microphone? I don't know. But he's
Somebody shoved their microphone into the wind.
Yeah.
What if it applied a root? So he would like stab the spear into the ground, and then it applied a root in that area.
Can we actually go back to Haganeko's idea for now? Because I thought that one was really cool, right? So he kind of signals AoEs on the ground. And then he has like a way, he uses the spear to push people into it. Right, now how do we make that not be overly complicated?
Well, we can introduce it by
on
parts.
the ground, and then have him skewer the spear forward like Magnus would, but without moving. And then at the end, kind of have him do some sort of thing when he's pulling the spear back that slows everyone.
Oh, I was hoping that you were gonna like you were going in a different direction with that, where essentially like he throws the spear forward and he like shish kebabs anybody in his way, and then he like throws them into the AoE.
But yeah, that's what the whole skewer thing is.
Oh, okay, so you did have that in mind. All right.
Look at that. Into one area. And then applies a slow, kind of like RP, but instead of a stun, it's a slow and it's in a straight line forward.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Will he constantly be a caster, or will he like attack you as well?
No. He has regular auto attacks, I would say. I mean, he has a spear, so he'll just hit you sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
I was thinking maybe on the first phase we just have him signaling AoEs and you just have to dodge those while fighting him. Then maybe on phase 2 he gets out the spear and he starts piercing people throwing them in the AoE or pushing them around and stuff. And then on phase 3 he also gets out his crossbow, and that's even more AoE you have to dodge and stuff.
Okay, so I actually like kind of the idea, although I disagree with phase 3. I think that the crossbow effect, that's just like the base phase, right? That's like just his basic thing.
Oh.
Right? That he uses his crossbow, he shoots up into the air, the AoEs come down. That's phase 1, where he just has right clicks and a crossbow. Right? And then phase 2, he combines that with like pushing people around. And then in phase 3, we need to put sorcery in there somehow. Like, what magic does he get?
Well,
I have an idea.
It would be nice if at first he would have some sort of ranged magic attack as an auto attack, and the spear started to use at the second phase.
No, yeah, actually that we could do that. So in the second phase he goes from ranged like caster to melee spear wielder, and like with the spear he starts pushing people around.
Or like Monkey King's auto attack. The range tough.
I have an idea for the phase 3 of Aziel, or whatever his name is. Since he's like a war master, right? A war god, you can make phase 3 like he starts summoning up weapons and like, I am the master of war, and he summons up armies that comes out of nowhere and attack you from all directions or something like that.
The armies don't work.
I don't like that.
The arena is too small. There's no space for that. There's no space for multiple enemies.
I have an idea.
Can I suggest something?
So
I play ESO, and there are a lot of boss mechanics in the game. One of the boss mechanics is that one player gets enchanted, and he's the only player who's allowed to see certain portals that open up while facing a boss. If these portals aren't closed by this one person, you lose because it's too much of damage.
Okay, that's an interesting idea in general, but I don't think it applies to this fight. Like, again, wouldn't be enough. Yeah, okay, you go ahead.
So, in one of his phases, since he's like a caster, he could throw down like some sort of magic circle that makes you have to stay in a specific area. Like you can still walk around, but there's a smaller area that you can move around in.
Like disruptor?
So there would be a massive AoE dot outside the circle, so you have to go to the circle to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could actually work with.
And it does work with the pushing around and stuff.
Yeah, that actually works with everything, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
So that could be phase 3, that he like starts making the arena in such a way that, there's like big magic fire or whatever that starts spawning everywhere, and there's just like small dots that are reserved for the players where they can go. The only problem I have with that is that it makes the fight take pretty long. There's just gonna be a long fight.
Well, he's a unique boss. He's in the middle. He should, besides the one strongest, he should be the one who takes the most time. So I wouldn't take it as a bad thing that it will take some time.
Although if it does start to take like 5 minutes to kill the boss, like that's insane in a game.
No,
of
it shouldn't
Angel
take that long. No. Yeah,
Well, we can balance its HP for that.
Yeah. No, the problem with those like AoE effects is just I guess we could just really have it deal like massive damage, right? So that like you only have to sit in safety for like 5 seconds or so. And outside of that, it's just like super massive.
The phase wouldn't be that long. Like
That would be his last phase, yeah.
Also, the problem would be if he casts this huge damage AoE around him, it would make it impossible for anyone to interrupt.
Yeah, that's actually something I've been thinking about too. You could even like, I don't know, maybe somehow use this, like show enemies you're killing him, then bait them to run in and get slaughtered by that AoE. Which would be kind of funny, but...
Maybe another way you could implement the same idea. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, maybe we can just close his arena during the fight, like for a certain amount of time, and if team can't kill him in that set time, the arena opens up for interrupting the fight.
I don't
Takes away a lot of the risk.
Yeah, like I don't like that unless I don't like closing off arenas like that unless it is absolutely 100% necessary. Right?
Okay.
And I don't think that is the case right now.
So if you wanted to have a mechanic that essentially isolates people on an island, metaphorically speaking, island, what if, this says his sorcery phase, is his magic phase, and one of the greatest magical abilities there is raining down shit from the sky. So what if a fireball or several fireballs would to come crashing down into the arena, impact, damage, whatever, but what it leaves behind would be a ring around the impact zone of damage. And if you cross over that ring, you take a lot of damage. So it doesn't fill the arena with danger, but it does fill the arena with areas of places that you can't cross over without taking damage.
Yeah, I actually like that. That kind of like...
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's like a
Can we
burning
exchange
crater.
the falling fire for falling weapons? They could leave spikes or something.
Well, that's just a model thing, fire is actually... The thing is, I don't think we can really do it with weapons because fire is very easy with like nice particle effects.
True.
Yeah, and weapons, it's not as obvious, where you can go or where not. I've actually been thinking about that. Like, we could either make it so that, a firebolt or meteor comes down, right? And then that meteor, it leaves just like a circle shape that is fully filled out where it's just like, you cannot go here anymore. Or alternatively, it leaves like random shapes. Like maybe it's like a circle, but there's like 2 holes. So you can still kind of like somehow squeeze through or something like that.
Randomized crater patterns.
Yeah, so to some extent we could do something like that. But I actually like what we've got. So phase 1, he shoots just the crossbow and he has like ranged right clicks, right? Phase 2, he drops the ranged right clicks and instead he gains a spear. he still shoots the crossbow, but he also uses the spear as like a pushing tool, right? So not only does he right click with it, but also he will like do a swipe from right to left, and anybody that is caught in it will be pushed into that direction, and he'll try to line that up with the AoEs. Alright, that's phase 2. And then phase 3 would be that the meteors start coming down, and they just like, that's just a thing that is now happening in combination to everything else, and they leave a trail of fire to some extent that deals damage if you touch it. And those stay there until you defeat him. Does that sound alright?
What about the idea where he pierces people with the spear and throws them?
Well, that was part of it, no?
Well, you just said he swipes people.
Okay, well, you know, we can have the other thing too, and it's not really that important.
It's just really like the visual of getting pierced with a spear and thrown around and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
So in phase 1, he's got an auto attack, and it's a crossbow based, or does he have both a crossbow spell and an auto attack?
He has both.
Okay.
I mean,
I want to say something about pushing people around with the spear, because as you said, Azil is not going to be that much bigger than a hero, so his spear should not be much bigger either.
Yeah, that doesn't really work, does it? That's a good point.
Yeah, his spear should be small. It's not like spear like Spartans had. It should be a small one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly,
Also,
like,
like,
the
you can just make it like a
pushing
force
around
staff.
thing is slowly turning into one of my least favorite parts of the fight, because it just doesn't
Yeah.
really work with the arena. You know, it's. Do we have something else we could put there instead? What would be our alternative?
Can I suggest
phase
something?
two?
Well, I had an idea for something else than pushing people around with the spear, because he's essentially just a fallen angel, and he still has his wings, and I think for another boss there was already a wind mechanic.
Yeah.
So maybe we could use something like that.
Well,
Like
That
make
does
him
swing
fly.
very hard and push them to the back.
Yeah, but that doesn't really fit. I don't really like that.
Or alternatively, we can make it so that his spear is somewhat magical, and like he uses the spear but with some magical things to push people around.
Like Monkey
that
King's
would make
staff.
sense more. That would make
Instead
more
of
sense at least.
instead of using his spear to push people around, he could use his wings to like whip people around.
Well, those wings are
also just
certainly
cast a
gonna
spell.
be big if there is.
Don't worry about the pushing anymore. That doesn't really
Yeah.
work with the arena anyway. Like
Okay.
like the more like, it just doesn't really fit that well, you know. Like, okay, let me go ahead and just note down what we have for now.
He could pounce on people using flight and melee them down, maybe.
Can I have
Like
a suggestion?
another
Can I say something?
AoE called AoE thing. He creates he shows an AoE and then he'll jump there and melee anyone who's there to death.
Yeah, something like a blink effect.
Yeah, something like PA does sometimes.
Oh, Blink Strike.
Yeah,
Jump on
except
someone
in
and
an
gain
AoE.
increased move speed or attack speed.
Oh, you mean what he does is he like jumps up into the air and just crashes down somewhere and deals damage in an AoE or what?
I
And
wouldn't
he
make him
starts
jump,
attacking
just to
people
blink.
there.
Oh, just blink like as a teleport because magic.
Yeah.
There or he flies.
Or a spear charge. He charges on a line and hits someone. He could do a like wing flappy animation beforehand to signal that it's happening.
Actually,
People
I
can
kind of like.
dodge.
I mean, the teleport thing does kind of work. Like, what we could do is we could have him signal an AoE, right? Yet again, that is kind of like Azazel's gimmick, I think. Signaling an AoE, and then like some like a circle AoE, and something happens there. So, that would be then he shows that, and then like I don't know, he rams his spear into the ground and stands there for a second, giving people time to dodge. And then he appears at that AoE, and then there's like a magic blast or something that happens that deals damage around him, and pushes people.
Yeah, he
I like
can.
using the spear to melee people down, but
If we are talking about pushing people around, is it possible if he casts an area of effect and anybody in there keeps teleporting around the arena or in that area, he won't be able to attack, but he'll be just pushed around. That's it. Is that possible?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I mean, it's more or less like Blink. It's more or less like what Anti-Mage does. Instead, it's not under the player's control. The boss will just randomly place them around the arena.
No, I don't like stuff like that. I want the players to feel in control, right? That's always to me, that's very, very important that as a player, you always feel like you have full control over your character. And the reason why you lost the fight is not because like the computer had reflexes that you couldn't deal with or made you do stuff that you as a human can't do. Instead, you lost the fight because you're bad. Like, I want every player in the game, if they lose a fight, I want them to feel as if it was their fault. Right? Either we went to fight this too early, or we just played it badly and we lost.
Okay.
Right? So random effects like that, I am never really in favor of. Because I feel like that is a scenario where sometimes you just get blinked away into a location that is so bad for you that you're going to lose the fight. And it doesn't feel like you did anything wrong. It just feels like you got fucked over.
Makes sense.
So back to the idea of him signaling an area and then blinking there and doing something.
Yeah.
We can have him explode with some sorcery or stuff, or we can have him use his spear and beat everyone up, or any third ideas?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. All of it is essentially just it deals damage in the AoE.
I like the idea of doing kind of like a ground target Barafumo, so he like mini batches everyone.
What about something like a Juggernaut spin? Like you could put that in like something.
Okay, guys, you're getting too stuck up on the flavor. What does it matter? What does it matter if it's a magic blast or if he sticks his spear into people? In the end, does it all come down to he deals damage in the AoE?
What about an
physical or
alternative
magical?
to that?
I want him to also do a bash when he comes out
Like,
of the...
just
Okay, well
make
that
it
would
a
be
strong
different. So
debuff.
you're saying it should do a bash as well, right? So you want to stun people for a little while. Okay.
Yeah, but only like half a second.
Like, make it a strong debuff that should be counterplayed instead of damage. Like, getting hit by the debuff shouldn't be lethal, but it should cripple the player a lot. Like,
so they're just really slow now.
Yeah,
or like
maybe-
another effect. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like
the
you
spear
could,
is like
you could stop
golden, and
the
he's also
region.
a shopkeeper, so it implies that he's kind of greedy. So he might steal the gold from the player, and the more gold he steals, the stronger he gets. Maybe.
Oh no, we shouldn't mess with stuff like that. All right. Because then you don't ever want to go for that fight. Because then if you lose the fight, not only is that you lose the fight, but all of your gold is gone. No, we can't do that. Unless he gives it back. But then that's just a little weird. That's one of those things that wouldn't be obvious at first sight.
Well,
Okay,
maybe.
No, feel free.
Well, maybe we could make it so that the boss stops the player's region, so that
They just can't be healed anymore.
yeah, they can't be healed anymore.
Doesn't really fit, does it?
You could put that on a different boss, though.
I still like the most that he could somehow blink in the area that he will tell to the players before and attack from that. Because when he is using ranged auto attacks in the phase 1 and he changes to spear, he should change the auto attacks fluently. So the blink is the nicest way.
What about this? I just had an idea. He has the crossbow shooting up into the air anyway, right? So in phase 2, when he does that, instead of just the crossbow going up, instead of there just a projectile landing, at one of the locations, he suddenly appears, right? He teleports to that location and now appears there. And then he does something from there.
I liked it a lot.
G-baiting tactics.
So there's
Make
actually
him shoot 3 bolts instead of 2 and he teleports to 1? Or is it just instead of...
Yeah, I would say he shoots 2 bolts still. It's just only one of them just deals damage. The other one he teleports to. He's now at that location. And then something happens at that location. Like maybe he... And a thought I had was maybe like he charges to the other location and like pushes people into it.
Or
So
maybe
either you gotta have both of the bolts still deal damage, and then he just also goes to the location, or you can have 3 AoEs, and 2 of them are bolts, and the third one is where he's going. Otherwise, you're losing a bolt when you go to phase 2, which is a detriment to the boss.
Well, unless he gains something that is powerful enough to make up for that.
If he teleports to one of his arrows, when he teleports there, he could have a small circle around him, and people in that circle get stunned for like 3 seconds.
Whoa. That's a good idea.
3 seconds is long, but yeah.
Well,
check
not
this out.
necessarily 3 seconds, but...
Yeah, exactly.
What if it's 2 bolts? Both bolts do damage, and both bolts spawn a boss, but only one of them is real.
That sounds amazing, but I don't think it would make it to the game.
Instead of teleporting...
No. Now we just need to make sure how do we continue from here, right? Because
What if he rushes to one of them, pushing people? You don't need him to teleport.
I like the idea.
One of them is illusion.
One of them is an illusion. Okay. Does the illusion take more damage?
Oh yeah.
Does the illusion deal the same amount of damage? What
We
does
could
the illusion do?
have
What
it
makes
be,
the what does the illusion do? Is it just a pure replicate of stats? Because in that case, I don't find it that cool. What does
deals
the
more
illusion do?
damage, but it takes more.
Well, it gotta take more damage. It's just a fucking illusion, You can't just suddenly have 2 bosses that you need to kill. That doesn't work.
You could also have the illusion deal slightly more damage. Like say it's
but is that
33% increased damage.
Is that
and take
interesting?
33%.
Well,
Maybe that illusion could disable people.
Maybe
The
they
illusion
have some.
shoots
Maybe they
one
have some
crossbow
combo
bolt whenever
attacks.
the original shoots its crossbow.
Maybe the illusion has returned.
No, this is all just stats
What we
on
should
the
do
illusion.
is
It's boring.
So you buff Azazel himself while the illusion is active. Whether that means that they're like throwing their spears to each other and the other one catches it, and anything in the middle takes massive damage, or something like that, where the 2 work together to become stronger. So you have
That
to kill
is
the
now you're thinking. Now you're thinking. I like that. I
My
like that.
thoughts exactly. Something along that, because that's not just illusion with stats means more damage output. That means the illusion is a priority target before the boss, because the combo attacks then get disabled.
Yes, so he has combo attacks with the illusion. I dig that. Okay, so phase 2, Azazel shoots his 2 crossbows up into the air as soon as he reaches phase 2, right? And then as they land, they deal damage as per usual, right? But Azazel disappears from his original location and spawns at both locations. One of them is an illusion, the other one isn't. Now they have combo attacks, and that's why you have to kill the illusion, right? So they work together somehow. Now, what are the combo attacks?
We could have it so that when Azazel shoots his crossbow, the illusion also shoots a crossbow, and if you haven't killed the illusion by that time, then it spawns another illusion, and you gradually get more and more AoEs.
That would get
Also,
out of hand.
just make an illusion more of a support thingy, like make it buff the actual boss, or just like debuff enemies or something. Like make it so it's not the first priority. Like you could actually skip it, but it's better if you do not.
What if one of the bosses, whichever one is within range or close to a hero, grabs it, and then the other one like machine guns him?
Yeah, that one of his
one roots and the other one attacks.
Yeah.
One of them do something like Shadow Shaman Shackles, and the other one attacks. You mean that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just throwing out
more.
ideas.
I like that more than the crossbow idea. I'm not really digging the crossbow idea.
I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, that sounds
What was
good.
the idea?
crossbow idea where it's just like, you know, if like the next time he shoots the crossbow, you create even more illusions. I don't really dig that. I want there to be only one illusion. Let's work off that assumption, right? This illusion thing happens one time. There's never going to be a second illusion.
Okay.
So, what does the illusion do?
The illusion will attack the one that Azazel will grab with something like Shadow Shaman Shackles.
Shouldn't be the other way around? I guess it should
I
be
would say both ways.
random between the two.
I would say that Azazel should cast the spell that shackles, because it's illusion. Illusions don't cast spells, usually, but it can attack as normal.
Maybe instead of using shackles, he can just pierce you with his spear, the illusion, and then Azazel is free to attack you.
Yeah, it could just be like a root kind of thing, where he's got the spear holding your coat or whatever into the ground so you can't run away.
Yeah, I like the charge idea in chat.
I don't know, we kind of already have a boss that does charging stuff.
Plus, it's
Yeah,
a
it
small
might
arena.
be a small
Yeah,
arena.
the arena's too small.
Yeah, the arena is too small. It doesn't work.
And the size of the model is going to be small enough that a charge wouldn't be intimidating.
Yeah.
Maybe you could also
Can
have
we
it
do
like
that thing with the immobilization?
So do we like the shackle and attack thing, or should we work out something different?
I think we should work out more,
I like
but
that
I do
idea,
like the
but
shackle.
we should also have another thing it can do.
Just
It's
make
not
it a
always just this
CC
one
guy.
thing.
Like it just purges
Okay,
purges debuffs of the actual one, and like
What with the shackle? Wouldn't I just stun the guy shackling and then that's over?
What if it's a root? Like he spears the coat in the ground and then he walks away and then he goes to the ranged attack because he no longer has the spear. And then he comes and picks it up later when the illusion's done attacking.
He starts throwing the spear, and the illusion keeps picking up the spear and throwing it back at him.
But I thought we didn't want him to throw the spear.
No, that
I wouldn't
like
make him throw the
Tom
spear.
didn't want
He
him to
grabs
throw the spear.
someone. He grabs someone to root him, and when he's rooted, he auto attacks with the magic from the first phase, while the illusion is attacking the person that's rooted, and then he goes back and he grabs the spear to unroot that person.
What if you're rooting the guy, and like Bami said, "Oh, I'll just stun him." But what if there's a ability on the guy doing the holding, the guy doing the root, where if he ever gets stunned, so also does the person he's rooting.
That doesn't seem obvious.
That's not
No, it
obvious.
really doesn't. I'm just trying to come up with something because he's right though. If the guy doing the holding down gets stunned, it's kind of stupid.
So theoretically, we could make Azazel stab one of the players, which would root him, and he should do something else like some magic, and the illusion would hit him, and after the illusion dies, Azazel would grab his spear back, unrooted the guy. So you have to kill the illusion if you need the guy that's rooted.
I don't know if the arena is big enough for my idea I have here,
Since
but maybe
all of you are so insistent on like the rooting thing, how about this?
Sorry.
If Azazel throws a spear at somebody, and the spear is what roots them in place, so as long as the spear is there, right? Yeah, well, actually, then you don't want to kill the illusion. That doesn't make any sense. I was gonna say the illusion that goes and picks up the spear and throws it back at you, but at Azazel, but you know, then you would want the illusion to be there. That doesn't
what
work.
about stopping
I'm still
with
thinking
the
about
spear
if-
for a second and thinking something along the lines of maybe they have some sort of chain connecting them, and if you touch that, you get rooted or something. It's some sort of magic war
that's
chain.
kind of neat.
And that way you have to avoid them, and as soon as you kill the illusion, the chains go away, of course, so you don't have to worry about it
Like
anymore.
the hero throws his spear, the other one grabs it, and there's a chain on the end of the spear, maybe.
Oh.
Or just skip the spear thing altogether.
Right.
Let's not
It
get hung
like
up on that
lasts
necessarily.
Yeah, they're just
a certain amount
connected.
of time.
They're connected by some sort of chain. And as like if you go through the chain, you take damage or get stunned or whatever happens, right? Something
like
bad happens.
with IO.
Like with IO.
Yeah, like IO Link.
Like the old IO Link.
That's very interesting.
I was imagining some sort of like molten fire chains sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
You get
Oh, yeah.
entangled, and you get
also make it
entangled in
like-
them and get stuck or something, or it deals damage or something.
You could also make it like it's the shadow or whatever, but that's modeling stuff.
I don't know why would it make sense to connect yourself with illusion of yourself. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that makes sense to me. Why
Maybe
not?
health regen?
No, he
Think
does
Star
that.
Wars 8080, you connect yourself with an ally and you fly around the legs of the 8080 to bring it down. He connects
it's
himself
just
with a
an
chain.
illusion.
Well, he connects himself to an illusion and runs around you to disable you.
But honestly, I
He's
think,
an
I don't
illusion
really
in
agree
name
with that.
only. You can imagine it any way you want.
Like I find that now we can't do this cool idea because apparently illusions aren't important enough to like do this something like nah. The idea is cool. Let's continue on with the idea.
I like the idea of the chain doing damage and stunning because since Azazel is signaling areas where he's going to do stuff, then having some sort of mechanic to keep people in place if they're not careful is useful because it complicates the dodging that they've already learned to do in the first phase.
Honestly, why does he even need the spear at this point? He isn't using the spear for anything, right? It would
The
actually
spear is melee attack.
Yeah, no,
when
that's what I'm
he's in the
saying.
second
Like,
phase.
let's assume we don't give him the spear in phase 2, right? Let's say we give him the spear in phase 3. We push that back. And then in phase 2, he connects himself with his illusion. He has the chain between the two. And they start kind of rotating around the room, right? So they move in a circular fashion. And they both have ranged attacks, and they keep attacking while they are rotating. So now you need to like keep up with their movement while trying to deal with him.
And of course, they go opposite directions around the circle.
Yeah, of course.
That might be too bad, actually.
I mean, they wouldn't be moving very quickly. They would be moving with like 100 movement speed or something. No, probably more than that. I don't know.
Yeah, but there would be this line going through the arena, just sort of turning around, splitting it in half, and if you go past that half or get hit by it, you get interrupted. That seems decent, actually.
Yeah, I like it.
How many phases will there be?
3 at the moment.
And when you deal enough damage to Azazel, like to trigger phase 3, or you kill the illusion, then that also triggers phase 3, then he gets out the spear. Like, he doesn't get out the spear before that. Does that sound alright?
Whichever happens first or whichever happens last.
Whichever happens first.
In the situation where you take Azazel down to 30% health or whatever, and the illusion is still alive, what happens?
Illusion disappears, he gets a spear.
Yeah.
Or maybe they fuse.
Nah, it's just an illusion. Don't think about it too much. Like, you're going in too deep, right? Just drop the illusion at that point.
Maybe when the illusion disappears, if you didn't kill it, it heals him just a little bit.
No.
Well, we could make it so when the illusion dies, Azazel himself takes some damage as well. So killing the illusion is more rewarding.
Killing the illusion pushes him into phase 3, which I think is rewarding enough, no?
That's actually right.
Assuming you want him to be in phase 3 before.
Okay. Killing the illusion deals enough damage to him to trigger him into phase 3.
Okay.
That makes sense, because going into phase 3 with him on 50% HP instead just seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea. So it deals enough damage to him to push him into phase 3.
So in phase 2, you need to just focus the illusion, or like, does it deal half of the boss's HP? Like,
Details. Illusion takes probably more damage, right? What you want to do is you want to focus one of them, right? You don't want to split up, you want to kill one of them. That's the important thing.
And you want that one because he'll be easier to kill.
And then, of course, but also what I also like about this idea, this still works with the crossbow. He can still shoot up the crossbow, and it's still going to have an impact on the fight. You know? Because then you need to keep up with his movement while simultaneously dodging the crossbow coming down.
And not running into the chain.
And not running into... Exactly, that's what I mean. Okay. Everybody okay with
so
this?
phase... That's pretty cool.
Alright, let's keep that as phase 2 then. So,
about the root thing that everybody was talking about, throw the spear, inhale somebody, my bad, like, stun somebody, why don't you just make it so the stun or root, whatever, lasts for 4 seconds? Like, for example, you gotta hit the illusion a bunch of times or deal a set amount of damage, so the person who got impaled doesn't take as much damage, like...
Mate, who's getting impaled right now? I'm not following.
Like we were talking about impaling with...
No, that would be phase 3. You can consider that for phase 3, I guess.
I see.
Because he needs the spear for that, right? And he currently gets the spear in phase 3. He doesn't get it in phase 2 anymore.
I see. Connection pretty bad. Like, sometimes I miss stuff.
Alright.
So the phase 3 spear would be hurled in a direction and it would push people back, impale them?
Well, honestly, if we want to go with the spear, I think the spear is just like he now has the spear as like a right-click thing. And I would still rather go with just the meteor shower, but if you have another idea, feel free to elaborate.
We need a good reason for people to move around in the area, otherwise the meteor shower fire rings are not really interesting.
The crossbow bolts?
True. Exactly. You need some kind of anti-position.
Is he still doing that when he has the spear?
Yes, he does this through the entire fight.
Well, that makes sense then. Never mind.
Could he have this attack bonus thing? For example, he signals something and then he gains an increase in damage or attack speed or something. And so you have to evade him for a while. It's another reason to move around, because for this time you have to run from him because he's dealing a ton of damage.
Mm-hmm. He gets like a cleave and increased movement speed from like a roar or something.
How about some kind of deafening blast type of thing? So like you need to move around, but you need to dodge the meteor shower as well. How about that?
Deafening blast, like Invoker's spell?
Yeah, but it should be like kind of smaller, so people have like a place to dodge. Like some kind of mini deafening blast would be like good.
One thing you want to be careful of is nerfing melee too hard. And that kind of spell would probably be a pretty big nerf to melee, wouldn't it?
Maybe like deafening blast, 2-second wait, or 3-second wait, or some kind of thing like that, and then deafening blast again, with like some kind of warning. Like it shows the path the deafening blast is going to go, because it's a
telegraph it.
Right.
Maybe this blast.
You would probably want to reduce it to be like directly in front of Azazel. You'd want it to be just wide enough to hit one hero and then get wider as it goes out. But that way you could have multiple people attacking and not all of them would be in threat at the same time.
And they'd be disarmed.
Make it a Colonel AoE.
So he has the meteor shower thing. And then we're thinking of having him shoot stuff from the spear?
From what I understand is we have the meteor shower thing with the burning craters. And
yeah,
he also has the crossbow thing going on. And he also has this conal AoE that triggers every now and again that pushes everyone in front of him backward, kind of like Gust, but it doesn't silence.
Pretty much.
We already have bosses that do that push people away every now and then.
Well, yeah, but if we're not going to have some kind of overlap between bosses, we're going to have a hard time finding
No,
the
there's
70
going to
some
be
odd we
overlap,
need.
absolutely.
Yeah. I just don't see how that's
Okay, now think about
similar
this.
to what we've
What
already
kind of
done.
mechanics do we have with Azazel still, right, at this stage? He gains the spear, because we want him to gain the spear, right?
Yeah, he has to have some sort of melee attack instead of the magical ranged.
Where does the
Fair.
spear come from?
He pulls
His
it out of
lore.
his backpack.
He just has it. Don't question
Just
it.
falls from the sky.
From the depths of hell.
He summons it,
pulls
like,
it
with
out of his
the
butt.
Keyblade or something.
Yes, he pulls it out of his butt.
Just
Like
grabs it
every
from his tunic
Summons it
or
like a
something
Keyblade.
like that.
When the illusion dies and falls to the ground, he goes over and grabs the spear from the butt of the illusion.
Exactly.
So I just think that he has to have some ability using the spear, because otherwise it's not as exciting.
I think the ability from the spear should just be that he has a melee attack instead of a ranged attack, and then he does other magical stuff.
Every once in a while, his right-click spear attack could just like randomly, one spear will be on fire, and you'll slowly take damage if you get hit by that one.
But it's too random. Like, you need to let
We
the
could give
players
him
know.
greater bash.
I don't like
Only instead of a bash, it's a rune.
Nah,
A giant nerf to melees.
yeah. Like, you need to let people know that they're gonna get some kind of special attack, right? Like, the flaming finger would be too random. It would completely wreck all the melees. The greater bash would be absolutely, like, worse for the melees as well. So you need to do some kind of Mirana arrow-ish thing instead of those, and letting them know so they could actually get away and prepare for the attack.
What if phase 3 is very simple? He just like starts calling down meteors. Every meteor, wherever it lands, like in the impact area, there's now a burning field that just burns for the rest of the fight. So he just reduces the AoE. Like, it just reduces the amount of space in the arena.
That was the plan anyway, previously, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's
but I mean,
right.
what else does he need? Isn't that enough?
People are trying to
I just want to make the spear
Does he need a
exciting
gap
somehow.
close? Does he need
Because,
a gap
I mean,
closer when
there's
he's
this guy
melee?
who's been attacking from a range the whole boss fight. And now he gets a spear, and all he does is
Okay.
right-click you with it.
But
That's
what this spear now does is, because the arena is going to be covered in like fire, right? Is he will have occasionally will have swiping attacks, where he pushes people right in front of him if they get hit by it, so they like need to run away, and like it doesn't have a huge AoE, but instead, but you still gotta react to it, right? And if you get hit by it, he like pushes you all the way through the arena. Like, it's enough power to just push you all the way through. Right?
I like that.
So like Earth Spirit's kick.
If there, yeah, like an Earth Spirit kick. And if there is lava or like fire all over the arena, you get pushed through all the fucking fire and just die.
I like that. Too punishing.
Isn't that a little bit too punishing? Like, just
Yeah.
getting hit by one attack and dying.
Okay, then you don't
But
die.
you could hit the wall and get dazed for a while or stunned.
You take much more damage
Maybe-
than anyhow, but
Maybe when he kicks you, if you go through the fire, you get the burning debuff, but you don't get more debuffs added when you pass through more of it. You just have this, you're taking damage over time debuff.
No. The idea there is that now there's a time constraint on the fight, right? The longer the fight goes, the more covered the arena will be in fire, and the more devastating his one swiping attack will be. If you get hit by it, then if, like at the beginning of the fight, there's like a very tiny chance you'll get hit by fire at all, right? Like maybe nothing happens at all. But the longer it goes, if you spend 2 minutes trying to kill him from that point, then he hits you once and the entire arena's covered in fire, you just fucking die.
That sounds nice.
I
like this
agree with
design.
that point.
I think you can do it like this.
That could work.
Phase 3 is a DPS race? Yes, but I don't mind Phase 3 being a DPS race. I mean, it's the last phase of the fight. Let it be a DPS race.
Well, maybe he could jump in the sky and fall back down again and push the heroes from to the side of the arena, which will cause them to uh, be in the fire, and they will deal fire damage to them.
That doesn't really fit
You
with
could
the
like
rest.
jump up in the air in order to do the thrust thing to push the people back.
Nah, that is kind of unnecessary.
That's animation stuff.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter how, if he jumps up in the air or if he does it while standing down. Is everybody
figure that
okay with
stuff
this, or do we
out,
want to, like, do you want something else, or what are we doing now?
Yeah, I like that Phase 3.
That seems nice.
Alright, well then we're gonna go with that. Then that's our Azazel. So, Phase 3 now, meteors start raining down, permanent fire. So, this is the fight. Phase 1 is just a crossbow attack and regular ranged right clicks. Phase 2, as soon as Phase 2 is triggered, he shoots the crossbow. As it lands, he teleports to one of the boards. The other location spawns an illusion. The illusion and Azazel get linked up to each other, and then they start moving in a circular fashion around the arena. If you touch the link, you take damage and you get stunned. Both him and the illusion do regular attacks during this, and if you get him to the percentage threshold for Phase 3, the illusion disappears, or if you kill the illusion, he takes damage to push him to the Phase 3 damage threshold. Phase 3, he gains a spear, is now melee. And the meteors start raining down, leave permanent fire on the ground where they landed, and he gains a swiping attack that after wind-up pushes people greatly. People take damage for each frame they touch the fire. Alright. Everybody happy with this?
Sounds good to me.
Does he need to fire the crossbow to spawn the illusion, or can he just spawn it?
It's just cool flavor.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I like that, shooting the crossbow.
I mean, he doesn't need
Okay,
to fire the
I
crossbow.
don't mind.
It's just kind of cool.
Okay, I don't mind.
So, what will happen when the boss gets defeated?
He turns into a shop.
I mean, when after you kill him, aside from turning into shop, will he uh, do something else or something like blast away the the heroes?
There'll probably be some sort of kill animation.
No, he will not die. He will try to talk his way out of it and
like,
offer
it
you
will
things
be
to
just turning
trade.
into a shop animation.
Yeah. Some sort of announcement so the other team know what happened.
Probably. I don't know yet. It's not really that important.
Yeah, we have a voice actor for it. We
Yeah.
can just make him to say something along that lines.
You just like beg for his life to like signal that Azazel has been killed.
Makes you a deal for being able to set up a shop there.
Alright. Cool. So I'm gonna put Azazel on a GitHub ticket as well. And I think that's really all we have for now. Unless somebody has any other topic. Anything you want to talk about?
I want to talk about a translation.
Okay.
How about, can you do like a Turkish translation?
There's already
Me and
other
my-
people that asked about that. Why don't you talk to them?
Oh, I don't really know who asked about it.
Well, they
Scroll up through general.
No, isn't
was
it,
actually-
aren't they still here? Isn't it Jelly Sand, I believe?
I'm here, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's me.
Yeah, Jellicent, was it you that asked about Turkish translation?
Yeah, it was me. Like, I'll
Yeah,
talk
why
about it
don't you
later.
just talk to him then? Right, you two, because I already explained it to
Okay.
Jellicent. Anybody else got anything?
I'm good.
All right, cool. So since it seems like we are done here, then again, I encourage you to start working on implementation because that's really the big thing we are missing right now. Other than that, the game mode is starting to look ready to go live. Again, once things are implemented, we'll be able to actually push out a version 1. And I'll see you next week again. We're going to have a Townhall meeting next week. The time, as per usual, is going to be in the general topic. It's very easy to find, right? If you don't know where it is, just click on the general channel right now and then look up. That's where it is. And yeah, anyway, I guess we're done then. So I'll see you next week. And please feel free to hang out on the Discord, help out with everything. And Warp Dragon, we're going to keep working on the items, right? Gonna finish that stuff up.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, I'll see you guys around then. Goodbye.
See ya.
Later.
See you.
See ya.
Sorry for eating.